Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm Ben Peace from the Knowledge Transfer Network. I'd like to start with a quick vote of thanks to Steve and the team for providing me with this opportunity to say a few words about what we do. It's been great working with Steve and the team over many years, but particularly over the last year on this report that Steve co-chaired, which I'll be talking a little bit about shortly, a kind of manifesto for a lot of the stuff that I'm working on. So, yeah, I know many of you will be very familiar with ourselves. Good to see many familiar faces in the room today. So this will be something of a whistle-stop tour, but really, it's a nudge to get in touch with us, keep up a dialogue with us, and make use of the services that we provide, helping stimulate innovation and join up collaborative partnerships that can realise innovation and realise the value that Innovate UK are looking to deliver. So this is how the landscape breaks down, where we sit within the framework of innovation, supported by BIS, the Department for Business Innovation and Skills, fund Innovate UK, who in turn fund a network of support agencies, if you like, networks. So there's ourselves, the KTN, there's the Enterprise Europe Network, and then there's the catapults, not least the High Value Manufacturing Catapult. So ourselves as the Knowledge Transfer Network, we are the UK's innovation network, supporting the mission of Innovate UK to grow innovation for the economic benefit of the UK. So we do this by linking organisations and exchanging knowledge, by providing access to funding and support and promoting exemplars. So we've got about 120 staff across a range of sectors across the UK's economy, something like 60,000 members, and it's free to join. Our services are free to our members. This kind of wraps up what we're all about. A comment from someone we've helped there, Christine Tacon. I was impressed by the connections that across powerful communities, which KTN staff have helped build. Clearly the result of people knowing what was needed. Our staff know what is needed, and we can bring the right players together. We know where the knowledge is. We can set up interesting cross-sector collaborations that can drive innovation. Many of you, again, will be familiar with this, but for those who aren't, this is how Innovate UK's funding breaks down for this financial year. It has changed back in April. We've got Nick, Cliff and Richard Miller here today, who can tell you in more depth about Innovate UK, but I thought I'd raise this while I had the chance. Essentially, their funding breaks down into 4 sector areas and then a sort of open programme which mops up everything else. So you've got emerging and enabling technologies, health and life sciences, infrastructure systems and manufacturing and materials. Total budget of 561 million. There are other related activities like the Advanced Propulsion Centre and so on, and part of that money is going into the catapult networks. But yeah, I'll tell you shortly about one competition, the Manufacturing and Materials competition, which may be relevant to some of you, that gives you a flavour of how the funding competitions going forwards will work, essentially on a rolling 6-monthly basis. So we have a new manufacturing team within the KTN, and it's been exciting for me to move across from looking specifically at sustainability into a new manufacturing team within the KTN, which enables me to get out of what I've perceived to be perhaps the sustainability ghetto. Sustainability professionals advance a lot of the dialogue and generate a lot of great innovation, but it's often the manufacturers who can actually put that innovation, those ideas into practice in great products that deliver value to customers, to society. So yeah, the manufacturing team breaks down as follows. There's myself, sustainable manufacturer, Malcolm on product manufacture, Louise on additive, so Louise already alluded to that, and Catherine Jose on circular economy. So based, we've got a geographical spread and then a spread of interest and expertise from our own backgrounds. Again, probably haven't got time to dwell on some of these areas, but hopefully these, represent collectively some of the cutting edge in manufacturing thinking, brought together by cross-cutting themes, Industry 4 and productivity. Again, if you want to talk more about this, hear about any of these in more detail, do grab me in the next couple of days. But of course, we can't oversee all manufacturing among such a small team. We have a total of about 120 staff in KTN who are broken down into these teams as follows. So, we're the manufacturing team up at the top as a cross-cutting kind of activity, along with access to funding and finance, European programs. But then, we draw on the sector teams that we have with great expertise, great knowledge of where the cutting-edge thinking is in these respective areas. So again, if you want to hear more, we as the manufacturing team can provide the links to this great expertise and to our communities out in business and indeed academia, of course. As an example of that, this is the circular economy work that we've been engaged with over the last 2 or 3 years. So Innovate UK have funded a total of nearly 100 projects specifically on circular economy to a value of 30 million or so. Again, engaging across all sectors and looking at a series of enablers with different competitions. So we, as the Knowledge Transfer Network, have a role in informing what these funding opportunities look like and bringing together the partnerships that can make a circular economy happen. So, for instance, rather simplistically, the materials processing side through manufacturing, distribution, retail, brand, end of life, etc., with design as a central enabler. Again, we treat as something of a cross-cutting theme. For more info, look at the link there. This is one of the projects that we set up. It's interesting that Louis alluded to LED lighting. This is all about business model innovation and a business model whereby customers are paying for the service as opposed to buying the product and owning the product. So Philips call this model pay per lux. It kind of links to the theme of Industry 4.0, this notion of digital manufacturing and data, being used by both the customer and the manufacturer to understand the performance of that product and over time improve the performance of that product. It also enables the customer to get access to the very latest energy efficient LED technology. So we, again, our role here was bringing together the supply chain, the design expertise with the innovators, with the manufacturers that can make an exciting project like this a reality. So that's a project that's been doing really well and hopefully will be nearing production in the not too distant future. Louis also mentioned remanufacturing, so that's something that I've been particularly engaged with over the last couple of years. I was on a mission to China last month, looking at what they're doing, extremely ambitious. They've really picked up on the opportunity that Reman represents. This is where you're taking back products and disassembling it through a controlled set of steps, reassembling so that you can sell it on with exactly the same performance and warranty as a brand new product. And then more on the business model side of things, this is the Reavers Project, which we're engaged on with a bunch of different partners. RAP are the lead partner. And this is a European funded project that's coming to its close, where we've been working with 30 exemplary pilots to get more of a handle on the process of setting up a resource-efficient business model, a circular economy business model, and building a case based around quantified data on the benefits that these business models can bring. But then onto this this report that I mentioned, which we've been working on with Steve and the team. So it's all about making British manufacturing sustainable. This is helping business to think about some of the challenges that they face, sustainability in the purest sense of the word, helping British manufacturing to continue into the longer term. Not least by taking up energy efficient, resource efficient approaches. If you haven't had a look at it, I'd thoroughly recommend it. as I say, it kind of represents a manifesto for what I'm working on within KTN. These are some of the chapter headings, main chapter headings. So innovation, this is what our mission is. Collaboration, this is our method for achieving that mission. In terms of leadership, we tell a story about, our successful. We can offer successful case studies up as examples that others can follow. And in terms of system redesign, as I've been alluding to, we're doing a great deal on the business model side of things. It paints a positive picture, the report. So to quote from it, the UK has some of the most effective and productive factories in the world. This is genuinely the case. We know where some of these factories are. We can help bridge the gap that exists to the laggards, those factories that aren't that productive, that efficient. There is a big gap, as identified in the report. We can link those people to the knowledge that exists in the exemplars of the world, and indeed within universities. Collaboration between companies and other actors must be a central part of a more sustainable manufacturing system. So again, collaboration is what we're all about. This is about, it alludes to joining up supply chains, about taking ideas from one sector, where they've worked in one sector, can they work in another? These are the kind of activities that are central to us as the Knowledge Transfer Network. And the report also identifies 4 areas where the UK can excel. So in clean tech, the creative sector, energy efficiency and business model innovation, these are all genuine opportunities identified and explored in the report where we can lead. What a fantastic message that is. So again, we can link to these pockets of knowledge and again, use that knowledge, deploy that knowledge in manufactured products to the benefit of sustainable manufacturing. Although many of the trends which shape the future landscape for manufacturers are beyond our direct control, our response to these is not. I love this quote, and it brings me on nicely to the tool that Innovate UK have developed with Forum for the Future, that can help businesses to explore what changes are coming, what's around the corner. Many are focused on the very everyday challenges within their operations, and this tool that we've helped businesses to use can help them kind of think compellingly about the future, and again, that can be a great driver of innovation. Again, it picks up on the quote that Andy left us with quite nicely. So this is kind of the graphic that we use to introduce the tool. It consists of 31 topics that you can explore online. The link is indicated there. So these are broken down into environmental boundaries, social and political factors, and what we call essential needs. Any one of these, pretty much all of them are going to be relevant to manufacturing businesses, some to a greater extent than others perhaps, but again, the aim here is to help businesses to think a bit differently about the future, understand the factors shaping their markets. So there's an online version of this tool, as I say, which explores each of these 31 topics in some detail, provides links to resources, killer facts, case studies. So this is what the freshwater topic looks like, explaining what the topic is all about, what are the implications for business, and so on. So again, great resource developed by Innovate UK, Forum for the Future, and Aviva Investors. We find particular value in the social side of things. How many businesses would be well able to say off the top of their head how interdependence, evidence, accountable governance affects them. All these topics probably do affect them, but this tool can help explore something, through a framework, the topics that they're probably not used to thinking about, and again, open up their minds, create innovative ideas that they might want to explore. It's being used, this tool, to develop Innovate UK thinking, and indeed thinking within the catapults. We're using it to shape our strategies and our teams in KTN, and then we're helping businesses to use the tool. So if you want to explore the use of the tool for yourselves, do get in touch. I said I would allude to the new shape of Innovate UK Competition. So this is a live opportunity. It's probably too late if you're not already engaged for this round, but there'll be another round closing in about 6 months' time. Yeah, picks up on a lot of the stuff I've been talking about, focused on the materials and manufacturing sector, much broader than many of the previous competitions. But sustainability, I should say, is thoroughly embedded into the scope of the competition. Remanufacturing, business model innovation, you know, the shift from product thinking to service thinking, adding more value to manufactured products, all these things are explicitly mentioned in the brief. So we can help with these competitions to set up the sort of collaborations that Innovate want to see. And then KTPs, knowledge transfer partnerships, you know, great way of engaging with academia. Again, probably haven't got time to go into detail on this, but if you want to hear more, you know, do talk to us. This scheme is still running in the new Innovate UK framework. Yeah, thoroughly recommend looking at. And then this is, I think, my penultimate slide, alluding to a very topical area at the energy-intensive industries, where, you know, DEC have released, what was it, just over a year ago, some roadmaps for the 8 energy-intensive industries. We're working to, you know, join business into this dialogue and help inform potential funding opportunities in this area going forwards. So again, if you want to hear more, get in touch. And with that, I'll leave you with my contact details. So hopefully, in summary, it's clear what we do, setting up collaborative partnerships, linking you to where the knowledge is. We know, our staff collectively know where the knowledge is that can create a more sustainable future. Come and talk to us to find that knowledge, and you know, we can set up these sort of partnerships, yeah, that Innovate want to see. Providing access to funding and support like Innovate UK, but not only, I should hasten to add, Innovate funding, linking up the innovation landscape and influencing the priorities for funding going forwards. So yeah, do sign up to our monthly newsletters, and hope to see you at one of our events. So we run the competition briefing events, not least. Thanks very much.